It was supposed to be a magical day at SeaWorld Orlando, bright skies, a full stadium, and the park's most beloved trainer taking the stage with the world's largest captive killer whale. But within minutes, that magic would turn into horror, as dozens of families watched something they could never unsee. This is the story of Dawn Brancheau, Tilikum, and the day that changed marine parks forever. Dawn wasn't just another trainer. She was one of SeaWorld's stars, a woman who had dreamed of working with killer whales since she was a child in Indiana. After years of training, she earned her place among the elite, working with orcas for over 15 years. Colleagues remember her as patient, disciplined, and deeply passionate. Guests often spoke about her warm smile and her calm control over animals weighing several tons. But one orca in her care had a history unlike any other. Tilikum was no ordinary orca. At over 12,000 pounds, he was the largest in captivity. But he also had a controversial past. In 1991, at a marine park in Canada, Tilikum was involved in the death of a young trainer named Kelty Byrne. Years later, in 1999, a man was found dead in his tank under mysterious circumstances. Despite these incidents, Tilikum remained a centerpiece of SeaWorld shows and a major source of profit due to his role in breeding programs. On February 24, 2010, the world would learn just how unpredictable he could be. It was the afternoon Dine with Shamu show. Guests sat at tables around the pool, enjoying lunch while Dawn prepared to perform a post-show session with Tilikum. She was lying down at the edge of the pool, face to face with the massive whale. According to witnesses, in an instant, Tilikum lunged, grabbed Dawn, either by her ponytail or by her shoulder, and pulled her into the water. At first, some thought it was part of the act, until they saw what happened next. The water erupted into chaos. Trainers rushed to the pool's edge, blowing whistles and signaling Tilikum to release her, but he didn't. Instead, the orca dove deep, thrashing and refusing to let go. The crowd watched in shock, parents shielding their children's eyes as minutes turned into what felt like an eternity. Rescue teams through nets attempted to distract him with food, but Tilikum kept control of Dawn the entire time. By the time they reached her, it was too late. When they finally recovered Dawn's body, the reality was heartbreaking. She had suffered fatal injuries, and there was nothing anyone could do. SeaWorld immediately shut down the show and cleared the park. News of the incident spread across the globe within hours. Investigations by OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, followed, focusing on whether SeaWorld had done enough to protect its trainers, especially given Tilikum's past. What they found would forever change how marine parks operate. OSHA concluded that working in close physical contact with killer whales was inherently dangerous. SeaWorld faced heavy fines and was forced to implement major safety changes. Trainers would no longer be allowed in the water with orcas during shows. Physical barriers were added, and new emergency protocols were introduced. The incident also fueled the creation of the 2013 documentary Blackfish, which brought global attention to the ethics of keeping orcas in captivity. But Tilikum's story didn't end there. After the incident, Tilikum continued to live at SeaWorld, no longer performing in shows. In 2016, SeaWorld announced the end of its orca breeding program and began phasing out theatrical performances. Tilikum died in January 2017 from a bacterial infection, leaving behind a complicated legacy. Adored by some, feared by others, and forever tied to one of the most tragic events in marine park history. And as for Dawn, her legacy was one of passion, dedication, and a love for the ocean that even tragedy couldn't erase. The death of Dawn Brancheau wasn't just a shocking accident. It was a turning point. It forced the world to confront the reality of working with wild animals in captivity. For some, it was a call to improve safety. For others, it was proof that these intelligent, powerful creatures simply don't belong in tanks. One thing is certain. On that February day in 2010, the relationship between humans and orcas changed forever. And for those who were there, the memory will never fade.